The film begins in the room of an as of late gone too far lady. Her young little girl goes into her room and witnesses her mom's body laid among the wreck. In the current day, the little girl, Rose Cotter, Sosie Bacon, is a specialist, approaching her day at work. She manages a hyper patient named Carl Jack O'Shea. He persistently mumbles about individuals biting the dust, and that he will kick the bucket. Rose endeavors to comfort him, however Carl goes on with his episode. Rose then, at that point, gets to require a meeting with a young lady, Laura Weaver, Caitlin Stacey. At the point when Rose meets her, Laura is bothered after a new occurrence where she saw her teacher club himself to death. From that point forward, Laura professes to have been seeing an abhorrent presence that appears as others. Subsequent to getting some distance from Rose and thinking back, Laura starts overreacting and going crazy. Rose calls for help, yet she thinks back to find that Laura has got an erect shard from a jar and is presently blazing a disrupting smile. Laura cuts her throat before help shows up, leaving Rose in shock. Rose addresses two criminal investigators, one of whom is her ex Joel, Kyle Gallner, for subtleties on the occasion. She makes sense of what she saw and furthermore converses with her chief, Dr. Morgan Desai, Cal Penn. Afterward, Rose goes to her home that she imparts to her life partner Trevor, Jesse T. Usher, and their feline mustache. Rose and Trevor go to supper with Rose's sister Holly, Jillian Zinzer, and her better half Greg, Scratch Arapaglu. Yet Rose is so damaged from Laura's self-destruction that she rages at Holly when she reprimands Rose about neglecting Holly's child Jackson's, Matthew Sheep, forthcoming birthday. Rose endeavors to return to work and continue on. She gets a call from Holly, as the two of them apologize for the contention, and Holly asks Rose to basically get Jackson a birthday present. While they talk, Rose peers through the window and seems to see what resembles Laura somewhere far off. At the point when Rose strolls via Carl's room, he is seen with an upsetting grin like Laura and starts to tell Rose, "You will bite the dust." She calls for help and Carl gets controlled by orderlies more than once. At the point when Rose goes to purchase a present for Jackson, she sees a specter of Laura once more, actually smiling. At home, she can't track down Mustache and is frightened when the security alert goes off. She gets a call from the security organization, however it ends up being a malevolent element that insults Rose. Over the course of the end of the week, Rose hits up Jackson's birthday celebration. At the point when the time has come to give out gifts, he takes Rose's, which should be a toy train. All things being equal, Jackson opens the container and tracks down Mustache's cadaver. Everybody goes nuts, and Rose attempts to guarantee everybody that she didn't do this, yet she sees one of different mothers seem to have the element's malevolent smile. Rose staggers in reverse and falls through. Rose is brought to the emergency clinic for clinical consideration. Morgan visits her in the wake of becoming mindful of her episode and recommends she get some much-needed rest work. At the point when Trevor brings her home, Rose attempts to account for herself, however he thinks she is freaking out and that she truly killed Mustache. Rose likewise has a meeting with her own specialist, Dr. Madeline Northcott, Robin Weigert, who assisted her with traversing the injury of her mom's self-destruction. Rose starts to do some examining. She plays sound recorded from her meeting with Laura and hears what sounds like a weak breathing commotion. She additionally looks into Laura's teacher, Gabriel Munoz, Felix Melendez Jr., and tracks down his widow Victoria. She advises Rose that Gabriel had professed to have seen dreams of something Gabriel did. Victoria feels that Rose is taunting her misfortune and she arranges her to leave. Rose visits Joel for help in her examination, notwithstanding his underlying hesitance. He looks into Anna Powell and finds that she passed on by gouging her eyes out. It is likewise detailed that Anna saw a man end it all as well, which is displayed in security film from a corner store where the man is seen with the dreadful grin before he speared himself before Anna. At the point when Rose gets back, she finds that Trevor has called Madeline to give a house call meeting since they are worried for Rose's psychological state. Rose lashes out at Trevor, saying that he is more worried about how she will make him look, prompting her stomping out and parting ways with him to account for herself about the birthday, Yet Holly won't pardon Rose and says that she is spiraling like their mom did. Rose fires back that Holly never endeavored to show up for their mom and that she needed to deal with her until the end. Rose returns to the vehicle and seems to see Holly stroll back to her, yet it is only the substance tormenting her. Joel accompanies Rose to a jail where she meets the last one standing of the Revile, Robert Talley, Ransack Morgan. He tells Rose that the element locks itself onto individuals. Robert blows a gasket and thinks that Rose carried the element with him, driving him to be limited. Rose returns home and takes a stab at conversing with Madeline, seeing her at home voluntarily. This ends up being the element in camouflage, since Madeline calls her for genuine minutes after the fact. The substance, as Madeline, smiles at her and says Rose's opportunity is approaching. Dreading she must choose between limited options, Rose drives to her occupation with a blade. She goes into the structure and tracks down Carl's room, where she prods him into blowing a gasket. Morgan runs in and sees Rose wounding Carl over and over. He shouts and seems to remove his face, yet this is only a horrible that Rose had after she dropped in her vehicle. She drives away when Morgan sees her, alongside the blade in her vehicle. Rose calls Joel and lets him know that she needs to separate herself to prevent the substance from spreading to any other individual. She drives dependent upon her young life home where her mom passed on. At the point when it is dull, the substance seems to Rose as a tall, long-haired gigantic variant of her mom that is continuously grinning. Rose communicates her indignation toward her mom for how she acted because of her sickness and how she never got the assistance she really wanted. The element follows and insults Rose until she sets it ablaze and runs out of the house as it consumes. She then, at that point, goes to Joel's condo and cases that she at last disposed of it. Then Joel tells her that she can never dispose of it, and he streaks a frightening grin. By and by, Rose was dreaming. She is still once again at the house. The element views as her and removes its face. Prior to extending Rose's jaw open and moving into her mouth. Joel appears and goes into the house, just to track down Rose drenching herself with lamp oil. She pivots, blazing her own frightening grin, and she lights herself ablaze before a stunned Joel. Thank you so much for checking out my recap of Smile. I'm so glad that you were able to get through it all and see the movie. If you like, please hit like and subscribe button for another movie. Have a nice days. Thank you.